Naomi Judd took the stage one last time with her daughter Winona at the CMT Music Awards. Performing their beloved hit Love Can Build a Bridge, the mother-daughter duo delivered a heartfelt performance that left fans in awe. Just 19 days later, on April 30th, the country music icon was gone, leaving behind a legacy of love, music, and unresolved pain. Her family was shattered, grappling with the loss of the woman who had been their anchor. But amidst the grief, her youngest daughter, Ashley Judd, stepped forward to share her story and reveal truths about Naomi's struggles that the world never knew. What did Ashley Judd finally say? Naomi Judd's life was filled with incredible highs and heartbreaking lows. From her humble beginnings in Ashland, Kentucky, to becoming one half of one of country music's most celebrated duos, her journey was anything but ordinary. But behind the glittering awards and adoring fans was a woman who faced unimaginable struggles, all while maintaining a public image of strength and resilience. Naomi was born Diana Ellen Judd on January 11, 1946. Her parents, Pauline Polly and Charles Judd, lived modestly. Her father ran a gas station and her mother worked as a riverboat cook. Life was far from easy for the Judd family. Tragedy struck early when Naomi's younger brother Brian passed away from Hodgkin's lymphoma at just 17 years old. The loss devastated her family, and her parents' marriage eventually fell apart. Naomi would later say that growing up in such a turbulent and affection-starved environment shaped her deeply. She described herself as emotional and walking around like a big piñata, hoping someone would break me open. At just 18 years old, Naomi faced another life-altering moment. She became pregnant with her first daughter, Winona, after what she later described as date rape. The father, a football player, abandoned her, leaving Naomi to navigate single motherhood. To provide some stability, she quickly married Michael Ciminella, but the marriage was short-lived. By the time Naomi was 22, she was raising Winona and her younger daughter, Ashley, as a single mother. Naomi didn't have a roadmap for her life, but she knew she had to survive. She enrolled in nursing school in California while living in a rural town with her daughters. It was during this time that she decided to reclaim her identity. She legally changed her name to Naomi, inspired by the biblical figure who faced great loss but persevered. The name felt like a better reflection of her strength and her Kentucky roots. Life as a single mother was tough, but Naomi was resourceful. While working as a nurse, she also dreamed of creating a better life for her daughters. That dream started to take shape when she and Winona began singing together. The Judds were born, and their harmonies were unlike anything country music had ever heard. They had a natural chemistry that audiences couldn't resist, and before long, they were on their way to becoming superstars. In the 1980s, the Judds dominated country music. They scored 20 top 10 hits and won 5 Grammy Awards. Songs like Mama He's Crazy and Love Can Build a Bridge showcased their unique blend of heartfelt lyrics and soulful harmonies. Naomi's songwriting earned her a Grammy for Country Song of the Year. The duo wasn't just successful, they were groundbreaking, bringing a fresh energy to country music and cementing themselves as icons. But as their star rose, Naomi faced a private battle that nearly ended everything. In 1990, she was diagnosed with hepatitis C, a disease she had unknowingly contracted while working as a nurse. Doctors told her she only had 3 years to live. Devastated, she announced her retirement and began focusing on her health. The Judds' farewell concert became one of the most successful pay-per-view events in history, a bittersweet moment as Naomi said goodbye to the stage she loved. Naomi didn't let her diagnosis define her. She poured her energy into advocacy, founding the Naomi Judd Education and Research Fund to raise awareness about hepatitis C. She became a spokesperson for the American Liver Foundation and used her platform to educate others about the disease. Against the odds, she achieved remission by 1995 after undergoing intense treatment with interferon therapy. It wasn't easy. She experienced depression, panic attacks, and separation anxiety, but she refused to give up. Even during her darkest times, Naomi found ways to keep moving forward. She explored new avenues, including acting. She appeared in films like Rio Diablo and A Holiday Romance, and even starred alongside her daughter Ashley in Someone Like You. On television, she guest starred in popular shows like Touched by an Angel and Third Rock from the Sun. Her versatility as a performer shone through, and she seemed determined to show the world that she was more than just a country singer. In addition to acting, Naomi became a beloved TV personality. She hosted Naomi's New Morning on the Hallmark Channel and served as a judge on shows like Star Search and Can You Duet. She also wrote several books, including self-help guides that offered her unique insights on aging and resilience. Through it all, she remained a beacon of strength and determination. But Naomi's struggles weren't just physical. She battled severe depression, a fight she detailed in her 2016 memoir, River of Time: My Descent into Depression and How I Emerged with Hope. She described her diagnosis as severe treatment-resistant depression, which led her to experience debilitating lows. She would spend weeks unable to leave her home, let alone get out of her pajamas. Despite trying nearly every available treatment, including psychiatric care and various medications, she often felt trapped by her own mind. Her honesty about mental health was groundbreaking. She spoke openly about the stigma surrounding depression and how important it was to seek help. Her husband, Larry Strickland, and her daughters, Winona and Ashley, encouraged her to pursue treatment, even when it seemed hopeless. Naomi became a spokesperson for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, using her platform to advocate for others who were suffering. She wanted people to know they weren't alone. Naomi's resilience was remarkable, but her life was a constant balancing act. She carried the trauma of her past, from the abuse she endured to the challenges of single motherhood. Yet she also carried the joy of her achievements, the love of her family, and the gratitude of millions of fans. Through it all, she remained unapologetically herself, complex, passionate, and deeply human. On April 11, 2022, Naomi Judd stood on stage with her daughter Winona at the CMT Music Awards, performing their hit, Love Can Build a Bridge. It was a moment filled with love, nostalgia, and the unmistakable harmonies that made the Judds a country music sensation. Fans cheered and sang along, unaware it would be Naomi's final public performance. 19 days later, on April 30th, Naomi was gone. Her passing shocked the world, leaving her family and fans heartbroken. Naomi's death wasn't just a loss, it was a reminder of the silent battles so many face. For years, Naomi had been open about her struggles with severe depression. In her book River of Time: My Descent into Depression and How I Emerged with Hope, she wrote about her experience with mental illness, describing it as a constant battle. Even with her accomplishments, fame, and love from millions, Naomi carried a pain so deep it was hard for others to understand. On that April day, Naomi's battle ended in tragedy. She was found unresponsive at her home in Lapers Fork, Tennessee, from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Her daughters, Winona and Ashley, later described their mother's passing as a result of the disease of mental illness. Ashley, who discovered her mother's body, shared the heartbreaking details in a May 12th interview, hoping to shed light on the toll of depression. Her words were raw and filled with grief. She described Naomi's depression as so pervasive that even her success and adoration couldn't silence the lies the illness told her. For Naomi, depression wasn't just sadness. It was a consuming illness that brought anxiety, panic attacks, and even self-harm thoughts. She tried everything to manage it: therapy, medication, and even hospital stays. Yet the side effects of her treatments added to her emotional distress. Lithium, one of the medications she was prescribed, caused her face to swell, her hair to fall out, and her hands to tremble. These changes, paired with the relentless grip of depression, left her feeling trapped in her own mind. Her death came just one day before she and Winona were to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. It was a moment Naomi had dreamed of, but the weight of her illness was too much. The ceremony went on, with Winona and Ashley accepting the honor on their mother's behalf. Their speech was filled with love and pain, a bittersweet tribute to a woman who had given so much to her family and her fans. After Naomi's passing, her family made a choice that surprised many. Instead of framing her death as a result of self-harm, they described it as the culmination of her long battle with mental illness. It was a deliberate decision, one meant to shift the conversation around mental health. By focusing on the disease rather than the act, the Judd family hoped to reduce the stigma often associated with mental illness and self-harm. They wanted others to understand that Naomi's death wasn't about weakness. It was about the devastating impact of a misunderstood illness. The public response to their honesty was overwhelming. Fans and mental health advocates praised the family for their bravery in addressing such a painful subject. In the days and weeks that followed, conversations about depression filled the airwaves. People shared their own stories of struggle and survival, inspired by Naomi's openness and the love her daughters showed in the wake of their loss. A televised memorial, Naomi Judd, a River of Time celebration, honored her life and legacy. Hosted by Robin Roberts and held at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, the event brought together family, friends, and fans. It featured heartfelt tributes from Ashley Judd, Larry Strickland, and a star-studded lineup of performers including Winona, Brandi Carlile, Reba McEntire, and Little Big Town. Messages from icons like Oprah Winfrey, Morgan Freeman, and Bette Midler highlighted the profound impact Naomi had on those who knew her. The memorial wasn't just a goodbye. It was a celebration of Naomi's resilience, talent, and the love she shared with the world. Winona, standing strong despite her grief, sang through tears, reminding everyone of the bond she and her mother had shared both on and off stage. Naomi's death brought attention to the struggles faced by those living with mental illness. It also underscored the importance of seeking help and supporting loved ones in crisis. Ashley spoke openly about the need for kindness and understanding, urging others to recognize the signs of mental health struggles and to act with compassion. The Judd family has always been one that captures both admiration and curiosity. Nestled in the hills of Tennessee, they lived close, just a few minutes apart in separate homes, but their lives were far from simple. They had their share of struggles, heartbreaks, and deeply personal challenges, many of which became public over the years. Still, Naomi Judd, the matriarch of this iconic family, remained a shining star, filled with dreams, drive, and undeniable talent. But her inner world was often a different story. Ashley Judd has recently opened up about her mother's final days and the moments leading up to one of the darkest chapters in their lives. She wanted to share the truth, not for attention or sympathy, but to help others understand the complicated, painful reality of mental illness. Ashley was clear that she and her family felt it was important to share the story themselves, not let it become twisted by speculation or gossip. It was their way of honoring Naomi's dignity. Ashley described her mother as both brilliant and fragile. Naomi could light up a room with her wit and storytelling, but there were days when she struggled just to get off the sofa. The disease that weighed on Naomi's mind was unrelenting, often isolating her despite the deep love and support surrounding her. She dealt with moments of immense joy, like performing on stage with Winona or spending time with her family. But she also endured overwhelming anguish. Naomi's mental health struggles were something her daughters had grown to understand, but the weight of those struggles was heavier than anyone could have imagined. Ashley shared how present she was for every interaction with her mother, savoring the love Naomi was able to give, knowing how fragile she was. She cherished the moments when Naomi's face lit up to greet her, calling her "my darling" or "my baby." It was in these moments that Ashley felt the depth of her mother's love, even though she knew the illness was always there, lurking beneath the surface. On the day Naomi left, Ashley was visiting her parents as she often did. She was there, just like any other day, making sure her mom felt cared for and loved. But as the day unfolded, tragedy struck, leaving Ashley with both grief and trauma. Discovering her mother in those final moments was something she never expected, and it's a pain she carries deeply. Yet Ashley has been brave enough to talk about it, even as she admits how difficult it is to relive that day. In the weeks following Naomi's death, Ashley reflected on her childhood and the unique relationship she had with her mother. Growing up with Naomi meant navigating a life filled with highs and lows. Naomi's mental illness shaped so many of their interactions, from moments of immense closeness to times when her behavior was shaped by the disease. But Ashley has come to understand that her mother did the best she could with the tools she had. She harbors no resentment, only love and compassion for the woman who raised her. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of Naomi's passing was its timing. She left just one day before she and Winona were set to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. It was an honor she had dreamed of for years, but in her darkest moments the disease convinced her she wasn't worthy. The love and recognition from her peers, something that should have been a source of joy, couldn't penetrate the lies her illness told her. For Ashley, this was one of the most devastating realizations, that the illness had such a strong hold on her mother that even this incredible milestone couldn't bring her peace. After Naomi's death, Ashley and Winona found themselves navigating the complicated process of grieving in the public eye. Winona chose to focus on performing, using music as a way to heal. Ashley, on the other hand, became an advocate, speaking openly about her mother's struggles and the importance of understanding mental health. She shared her family's decision to describe Naomi's passing as a result of mental illness, emphasizing that it wasn't about weakness or failure. It was about the devastating reality of a disease that distorts the truth and leaves its victims feeling hopeless. Ashley also spoke about the importance of seeking help and breaking the stigma surrounding mental health. She wants others who may be struggling to know they're not alone. She urges people to reach out to loved ones, talk to professionals, and find support wherever they can. Her message is one of hope, even in the face of profound loss. Naomi's death revealed another layer of complexity in the family's dynamic. It was later revealed that Naomi's will left Winona and Ashley out, instead naming her husband Larry Strickland as the executor of her estate. The decision surprised many, including Winona, who reportedly felt hurt by the exclusion. Winona believed she was a significant part of her mother's success and struggled with the decision, but the family has chosen to handle this delicate matter privately. Despite these challenges, Winona and Ashley have leaned on each other, finding strength in their shared love for their mother. Ashley continues to honor Naomi's legacy by focusing on the brighter moments of her life. She remembers her mother's kindness, her generosity, and her ability to connect with people. Naomi was known for slipping $100 bills to janitorial staff or chatting with waiters as if they were old friends. She was a woman of immense talent and an even bigger heart, even as she battled her inner demons. The Judd family's story is one of resilience, love, and an unyielding commitment to understanding and supporting one another. Naomi may be gone, but her legacy lives on through her daughters, her music, and the countless lives she touched. Ashley's decision to speak out has not only honored her mother, but has also sparked important conversations about mental health, showing us all the power of vulnerability and the strength in seeking help. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories like this, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest content.
January 7, 1967 that the couple tied the knot, which was a significant moment in Joyce's life. Despite the fact that their early years were not without their share of difficulties, Dave's unwavering faith and support assisted Joyce in navigating her feelings of resentment and verbal abuse. Joyce admitted in a later statement that she had been resentful and verbally abusive in the beginning. In spite of this, Dave did not waver in his conviction that love and faith have the power to bring about spiritual transformation. 3 children were added to their expanding family over the course of the subsequent few years, which served to further strengthen their connection with one another. Their journey has not been devoid of challenges at any point. Joyce often reflects on the significance of perseverance in marriage, a lesson that she and her husband received from the challenges they faced in their early years. You can go to God and ask, "What do you want me to do to make this situation better?" It is simple to give up, but you can also ask God something else. In a candid interview, Joyce reflected on the factors that contributed to the longevity of their love. In her explanation, She stated that she believes it is successful because we have stopped trying to change each other. When we were younger, we used to shake hands and tell each other, "I accept you exactly as you are." This momentous occasion served as a turning point, laying the groundwork for a long-lasting partnership that is founded on acceptance and faith with one another. This resiliency has helped them weather storms on a personal and spiritual level, and most recently, it has helped them weather the dramatic physical transformation that Joyce has undergone. The decision that Joyce made to have plastic surgery elicited a range of responses from people. In the beginning, many people were taken aback by her new and youthful appearance.